And hello, we are back with Burn Flick. I am Zach, here with Jonah and Im.
Hi.
Hello.
And today we are going to talk about The Joker.
The Joker.
Directed by Todd Phillips, otherwise known as the man who directed the 3 Hangover films.
Yep.
He's good with...
He did all 3?
Yeah, I think he did all 3. I assume it to be because the first one's definitely him. And the second one was
Yes,
definitely him.
Absolutely.
But the third one was terrible.
I haven't seen the third one.
Yeah.
I didn't see either of the sequels. Only the first one.
I think the first one's good.
First one's good, second
First
one's okay.
one's iconic.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. But this was a good step away from his type casting of directing.
Completely different style.
100%. And I think it did a really good job with it. I mean, when it first came out, I remember seeing it in the Mystic Theater. I had a beer, and it was great.
Who'd you see it with?
I saw it with, I'm pretty sure I saw it with Hackney.
Uh-huh.
Saw it with Rosario and Serpica and Barreca, I think.
Oh, shit.
It was in 2019, so it's a little fuzzy there. But I know...
Whole ass squad right there.
I was underway on nuclear power watching this movie.
But it doesn't change anything, nonetheless, on how, how it affects me as a movie watcher.
Quick synopsis?
Oh, yeah. So the movie is based on a character named Arthur Fleck, as in one of the names of the Joker in comics.
One of the names?
Actually, yeah. So I forgot the other name, but I know Arthur Fleck was one of the pinned names of the Joker in the comics before.
Huh. I didn't know he had different names.
Yeah, so obviously the Joker never had any legitimately set names because they want to be the Joker. They don't want to give a person to this. They want to make him. He's a Joker. He's not even deemed to be human in this sense. Obviously, he's not a monster.
Yeah.
But he's the Joker. He's not your everyday being. So they don't want to give a real name or actually tell him what the name is. One of the names was Jack. One of the names was one of the names was Arthur Fleck.
Yeah, I think in the original Batman movie, he was Jack Napier.
Yeah, Jack Napier. That's one of the other names too.
Okay.
So
I know that.
This is Arthur Fleck, played by Joaquin Phoenix, in the middle of what seems to be the 80s of...
I thought it'd be... It had 70s vibes.
70s? Okay. I think 70s makes more sense too.
But you're right. It's definitely not modern times.
Definitely in the last 30... prior to the 1990s or 2000s, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's Arthur Fleck, and he is this, this depressed man living in Gotham City. He is a clown that's hired by companies to, promote things and just be a clown.
Yeah.
And he has, certain, disabilities such as, he's has some sort of not mental disabilities that we know of, more along the lines of...
Wasn't he had gone to Arkham prior to? Right? I think they mentioned that in the movie. Like, he used to be at Arkham, and then he got out, and now he lives with his mom, right? Is that...
I don't know if he went to Arkham, but I know that he has had help. So maybe he had...
I think he's had outside help at this point. I think he's gone to Fleet and Family before gone to actual medical.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so the movie is just him. He's living his life and trying to figure out where he belongs and what he wants. And he just wants to be a comedian. And the movie is he just wants to be a comedian, but he
is a deeply arrested development.
Yeah,
as an adult.
He is
because I'm just jumping off what you said about him wanting to be a comedian. He is in no way qualified or he is not comedian material.
No.
And most people are able to discern their own abilities, but for him, he just has this delusion where he thinks he can make it as a comedian. And obviously that's a recipe for disaster. But just starting out, I think this movie is really, really strong with its tone. It's really strong with its characterization, and the entire movie, the pacing is great.
Exactly.
The editing is great. The cinematography on point. There's this one scene in the bathroom. He does this a couple times. By the way, like Arthur Fleck / Joker in this movie, there are multiple instances of him like sort of slow dancing, kind of, and like almost like a marionette, positioning his arms and such.
Yeah, the one in the bathroom, the one
Yeah.
in his house, and the one right before he goes to see.
Naked in the
Yeah.
house and in the bathroom. Was that right after he? This was right after he
Killed those 3 dudes.
killed
Yeah.
those Wall Street guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the one where he's in his underwear and he's dancing, but at this point he's also like dancing wildly, not more like definitely like a marionette.
Yeah.
Where you see Joaquin Phoenix's ability, like because he's a method actor, he always has been, and how much weight he lost for this movie.
100%.
He was skin and bone, and definitely had you can see he looked like his spine was coming out of his back. He was showing like so much about him. Remember when he was like tightening his boots and his arms like this? They were like protruding out, and he's trying to.
Oh yeah, I remember how fucking weird he looked.
Yeah,
he looked like a fucking goblin, like Smeagol.
Yeah,
like the way, and obviously, Joaquin Phoenix is great. He's great. I think this movie knows that he's great. He knows that he's great, and anyone who watches this movie will know that this is someone who's operating at the highest fucking level of acting.
And that's why what makes this movie good too, and him a great actor, is that he won Best Actor for this movie.
He did.
The following year.
You know, it's funny because like when I first saw that, I was kind of upset because number one, like I kind of didn't want Joker to be the movie that he won Best Actor for, because I feel like he deserved it for so many other roles. And for the most part, my perception of this movie was largely negative, due to just the kind of what people were saying about this movie, and like how they were presenting this movie. Me just hearing it like secondhand, third hand. I just did not have a good perception of this film. Obviously I knew Joaquin Phoenix is in it. I knew he's gonna crush it. But now that I've seen the movie, it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. He definitely deserved it. This was a great performance. But it still bugs me that he was not as recognized for his other. I'm talking about The Master at this point. I don't know if you've ever seen The Master, but I think that's his best performance.
I actually never seen it. I actually only heard about it this year. And it came out in 2012, I think.
I don't. Philip Seymour Hoffman was still alive.
Definitely,
so whenever that was.
Definitely before 2012. Then I think it died in 2013.
Yeah. But yeah, he the best actor. He won that.
Yeah, he won Best Actor for it, and you see it. You see, like, because he was able to play.
Yeah.
You know, a guy who, because at the beginning, it's the rise, well, not the rise and fall, but the slow decline of what's left of his mentality.
Yeah, it's the decline of Arthur Fleck, and it's the rise of Joker. Yeah,
essentially, yes. Which at the end, after we talk about this. Well, last week I talked about how I was upset that they are making a second movie, making a sequel, because this movie, I think it was all said and done when it showed you origins of certain things.
Yeah.
And they don't need to do a second movie. I don't know what
and at the end he's at Arkham.
Yes.
So like I mean it kind of leaves it open. I don't know.
I think that's for the most part the point of the sequel though. I think they understand that it doesn't need a sequel, and that's why the sequel is going to be so different from the original.
That's what I'm afraid of.
It's going to be different. I mean,
is it still Todd Phillips?
I hope so. I don't think anybody else should be able to do that. He did such a good job. I think it'd be very insulting if they didn't have him.
I'm not sure if it's Todd Phillips, but
unless it being a
musical is pretty wild.
I'm actually intrigued by that. I want to see how well they do that.
It has Lady Gaga in it.
That's what upsets me.
Yes.
I don't like Lady Gaga's acting. Sorry, Lady Gaga's acting.
I've only ever seen her in fuck that Bradley Cooper movie.
The Star is
Star
Born.
is
Star is A Star is Born. Yeah.
She was all right.
I didn't like House of Gucci.
That's fair. I mean,
haven't
there's
seen House
there's
of
multiple reasons not to like House of Gucci.
I didn't like it so much that I didn't even finish it.
Is Stanley Tucci in House of Gucci?
He probably is.
Okay,
He probably slipped him in there
I
somewhere
figured as much. I just assumed he was
because it sounds Italian.
because it rhymes. Stanley Tucci and House of Gucci.
Ah,
Yeah.
we need a.
Oh my god. Actually, that's more of one of those.
Oh damn! I forgot the new ones.
Yeah, sorry, I can't multitask. But that said, a lot of the technical aspects of this movie, a lot of the production aspects of this movie, excellent. The acting, excellent. There is one thing that I have a problem with, and that's the plot. That's the plot. And, some would say that's a big thing, and I agree, it's a big thing. A lot of the things that I was afraid of prior to going into this movie were confirmed by the movie. I kind of felt that, like, the world of this movie would be a world in which is unnecessarily, almost comically cruel to Arthur Fleck. And, like, right out the rip, like, he goes to his job, and that one dude who pretends to be his friend, quote unquote, like, gives him a gun? What? Like, what's going on here? Why does he give him a gun right out the blue?
It's the 70s, man.
And, like...
You would understand, man.
And, like... And the guy, clearly he's giving him this gun to set him up for failure, right? But there are so many other ways to... Why would you give the guy a gun? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That was one thing early on in the movie that made me feel like, okay, this is happening, I guess.
Yeah, you're like, he said he gave it to him for safety or whatever, but do you maybe think he gave it to him to set him up?
Absolutely. No, because
Right?
that guy's a dick.
Because he didn't like him.
Yeah.
That guy pretended to be his friend.
He wanted to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no, yeah,
I don't know why. I have
no
idea why.
The world was just against him.
Yeah.
But I think by the end of the movie, him sitting in Arkham Hospital,
Yeah.
you have to think this is my take. And I hate.
Are you about to say what I think you're gonna say?
It might have been all in his head.
Oh my god.
And I'm telling you, I can't stand when movies or like books or TV shows, they wrap it up and basically it was all a dream. Or it was all in his head. Or
I think that's
wanted
an awful theory.
I like the movie, but I think the ending, and then obviously his delusions of grandeur throughout the whole story, with him having this idea that he is the best and like the greatest stand-up comic, and he's like killing it in several aspects of his life.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that ending scene where he's in Arkham, I think it leaves it open for a lot of interpretations, and I think your interpretation is a valid one. I just think it's awful. I mean, I don't like that.
Ways for it to be...
I don't either.
Ways for it to be valid could help into leading into the second movie being a musical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, do you think the second movie, which is a musical, do you think it's happening all in his head? Because it's a musical.
It could be something that could be... Imagine this.
Yeah.
Just imagine this, right? It ends... The second movie ends with him waking up from like some dream or whatever the fuck, right? It's in his head.
I'm already not.
And then ties in. No, listen. And then ties in.
Yeah.
To the DCEU.
Is this movie tied into the DC?
No, completely standalone.
Okay,
But,
just like the Batman movie that came out.
Mhm.
What if that were the thing? Like, if they actually wanted Joaquin Phoenix to be the Joker in the Batman,
Hmm.
but they never showed it, it ties into that. Obviously, it's a stretch, but it's
Yeah.
like something that could be.
They could possibly pull that. I know in the comics line they have
Maybe he's just
3
more.
Jokers.
Yeah.
So Jared Leto could be whatever he wants to be. He can do his thing. They
Oh
could
my God.
they could, do what they want with him, and then they could bring in Joaquin and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
oh, this is the second one." Now,
What about the Barry Keoghan Joker? You don't really see his face,
I think
but you hear him.
You do see his face in the deleted
deleted
scenes.
scene.
Yes,
Scene.
you do.
Which, I mean, in all honesty, he might look like the most realistic one here. I mean, he's got like burns on his face from probably falling in acid and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Oh, is that the actual Joker story?
The actual.
yeah.
Well, there's multiple.
Origin stories?
Yeah.
Like the Killing Joke one,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where he didn't fall into a vat. He was the Red Hood, wasn't he?
Oh, what the?
He was.
Oh, it's a big whole thing.
It's a big-
What
yeah.
the fuck?
He had to be there. It's on Netflix. The Killing Joke.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's just.
What, isn't the Red Hood a hero?
Yeah, it's the Red Hood is actually Robin, I think, or no, it's
What happened here?
Hello.
Oh shit. We're having slight technical difficulties. Are you good?
Hello.
Oh shit.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're
I
back.
think you're back. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a Robin.
Okay.
Like so the Red Hood was supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be Nathan
No, Jason Todd.
Jason Todd. Why Nathan? Why did I say that?
Nathan Todd.
Nathan Todd. It's supposed to be Jason Todd.
Yeah.
But in this story, the Red Hood was like an older. You couldn't tell whether like is it based in like they show the Joker before he lost control
Okay.
because he was also like a family man named Arthur Fleck in this one.
Heath Ledger's Joker. Is he based on a comic?
I think all of them are based on the comic, but I think the character in its own is really hard to translate to screen because he has multiple personalities and all these crazy.
I really like this Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. I like his story progression. I like his character development.
I like how you were reluctant to watch it.
I was super reluctant to watch it because of I don't think I've ever like explicitly laid out what turned me off so much to this movie. I think what turned me off so much to this movie was mostly Reddit and like all the people on Reddit who like said how great this movie was and like
because you can't trust Reddit.
And not just that, but it's how they were saying it that made me think that this movie was for like incel dudes. Like this movie is like an incel rise up like kind of movie.
But he wasn't intentionally celibate because he likes his Zazie Beats.
Well, that's the thing. Like that turned out to be in his head, and I'm really glad that turned out to be in his head. Yeah, that would have been like what? It would have been super weird, and if they had just let that be a thing, that would have been another thing that I would have hated about this movie because I'm like, there's no woman would do that. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I was stalking you, and then she like finds it cute, huh? And then like
the scene where she pretends to blow her head off and then he overdoes it when he tries to joke around with her by literally making
I don't think that's as bad because that's like an initial greeting.
Felt awkward to me.
It was definitely awkward,
super uncomfortable.
But when you think about what he does to her and with her like later, like it's nowhere close because like he stalks her, first of all, and then after she confronts him about it, like he admits it, and then she's into it, and then later on, is this after he kills the Wall Street guys?
Way after.
Yeah, after he kills the Wall Street guys, he shows up at her door and like sexually assaults her. But obviously it's his vision, so like she's into it. Yeah. And I just did not buy that one bit. And when they revealed that like it was actually all in his head, I was like, oh, thank God, thank God, thank God it wasn't
I'll
real.
admit when I first saw it, I was very hopeful it wasn't in his, or it was in his head
Hmm.
as well. So for you guys, I guess what scenes for you guys stood out the most? Like when I mean stood out means like
Yeah.
that struck you the most.
Honestly, the slow dancing scenes. I think a lot of, maybe not a lot, but I've read a couple of reviews that bashed those scenes because they said that those scenes like were too drawn out and like maybe one or two would be fine, but that scene happens like 4 times. He does it before he goes onto the talk show at the curtains. He
Mhm.
does it then. He does it naked in his house. He does it in the bathroom. I think he does it one more time. He literally does that 4 times. But I think what makes that like scene so imprinted on my head is the soundtrack that goes with it. The soundtrack in this movie is amazing. It's so good. Like it takes no effort from me to get drawn in to the drama of his psychosis because of the fucking music, dude. The music is so good. Um, and for that reason, like all of those slow dance marionette, like Joker, just like miming shit, it's very visually arresting for me. I don't know how else to say it.
Right.
It's just stuck in my head.
Obviously I'm sure it's engineered that way to make you feel uncomfortable,
Hmm.
but also
No, but
into it.
yeah, you're right. It feels uncomfortable, but it's like a weird mishmash of discomfort and awe. I don't know if that makes sense.
I feel it because he wants to
Yeah.
put on a show.
Yeah.
He wants to put on a show. He wants to be intriguing,
Hmm.
but it also shows that he's got losing it
Yeah.
or losing it more than he already did.
Uh, I I personally couldn't really find his descent. It kind of felt like he was crazy from the start, and he just needed excuses to unleash his crazy. That's kind of the vibe I got. I didn't really see it as a descent. I know that at a point he gets off his meds
Maybe he was
because
keeping it at bay for a while,
like
and
he
then
runs out of
finally,
funding. Yeah, maybe he might be keeping it at bay. But the thing with like Bruce Wayne and his mom. Oh, we should probably talk about that. You want to lay that down?
Oh, Bruce Wayne and his mom. How?
Or not Bruce Wayne, Thomas Wayne.
Oh, Thomas Wayne and his
Thomas
mom.
Wayne and his mom.
On how for the longest time his mom would always tell him that Thomas Wayne was his father, but it really seemed like how
No, but he didn't say. She didn't say he was.
Mhm.
She didn't.
she did.
Well, she didn't keep saying it. It was a
Sorry.
secret.
Well, yeah. Well, she kept saying, "Well, one day,
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne
no,
will."
she would say that Thomas Wayne was a good man,
Oh
and
yeah,
Thomas Wayne would
will take us out of this, slump that we're in.
eventually help us out.
For the longest time, he thought that what she meant by that was she is his father, or he is his father, right?
No, I don't think he got that sense at all until he read that letter. Because when he
Oh,
read that letter was a moment of astonishment for him.
oh, right, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. And and when he goes to see him multiple times,
Yeah.
or one time, he kept telling him like, "I don't know who the hell you think you are." He assaults
Yeah.
him, and
Which is comically cruel.
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think the real Thomas Wayne would do that.
or that's not what, because Thomas Wayne was the showman. Essentially, he's a face of Gotham.
Well,
He's meant to look like, always seem like a
Yeah,
good
but
person.
we know how Thomas Wayne acts like when the cameras are off because we know how Thomas Wayne treated his son and raised his son, right? Because Bruce Wayne is a man of morals. Bruce Wayne had, I mean, that makes sense, right? That's not too big of a leap.
Do you think maybe he acted that way because she was always sending letters to him,
well,
and he felt like this has gone too far?
he also had like his fingers in his son's mouth. He literally had Arthur had his fingers in Bruce's mouth,
making him smile.
And I think if anyone did that, some stranger did that to your kid,
Yeah.
you'd probably be pretty aggravated to the
True.
point
Yeah.
of punching him in the face.
That is true.
I would too.
Yeah.
Even if you were someone with morals, I think it'd be pretty hard to restrain yourself, especially in a room that you don't have people to
Mhm.
restrain you.
For a character that's so like broken and awful and who does terrible like I still think the movie does a great job at generating sympathy for Joker.
Yeah, showing
And-
that he's
yeah.
is human.
Yeah.
Or was.
And obviously a lot of that is thanks to Joaquin Phoenix. And the way he chose to portray him. I I think it like this script, it'd be really hard to nail a sympathetic Joker, but I think they pull it off.
Mhm.
I really think they pull it off.
Yeah, it's funny. They always talk about. I've seen pictures where multiple times where the people didn't get the point.
Mm-hmm.
They because now people like the Joker. He was super misunderstood. He was, but then at the end he wasn't.
That's not an excuse. People say that. That's part of the reason why I didn't want to watch this movie. Because all these fucking people were like, "Oh, Joker was just like what you said, like misunderstood."
That's what I'm saying. They said that and like, no, he was not misunderstood. They understood him correctly. Like, yeah, the world tore him down, but
yeah,
he didn't have to resort to murdering.
Well, I think the system failed Arthur, and what led him to become the Joker. And obviously, Joker's a bad dude.
Mm-hmm.
That side of him is a bad dude. But yeah, I mean, when they cut the funding, his therapist literally is like, "Yeah, can't fucking do anything for you, bud.
Sorry, bro.
Sorry,
Is that
bro."
even his therapist?
That was his therapist.
His
I
government given therapist.
Yeah.
I thought that was his social worker.
or that
Or-
social worker.
yeah.
Maybe.
Well, whoever he went to sort his
Yeah,
problems
'cause
out
isn't-
and get medication from.
I thought that's the lady that gave him that job. Is
Well,
that
social
no.
workers are therapists.
Oh,
And
they are?
therapists are social workers.
I couldn't fully understand what her role was because she prescribed him medicine.
So I
right?
mean, technically that's a
Only psychiatrists
I
can
say
do
that's
that.
only a psychiatry thing, but I think the movies always get things like that wrong.
The movie's just like you're an all-in-one.
Yeah.
I mean, a psychiatrist can be a social worker, right? He works for the state.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
could be.
Psychiatrists are.
Well, I mean, a psychiatrist working as a social worker
They're social.
is
workers.
like what?
They're social workers.
Are they?
Yeah, they're just higher level education.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels though you can go to a psychiatrist, which is they also work with like their medicine, right? That's
yeah.
their discipline, their work,
Yeah, it's just
and they can still work for the state themselves, working with the state in their offices and being assigned to people.
yeah, it's just the area of expertise. Just like my wife's a behavioral tutor, but she's still a social worker.
Okay. Huh.
It could be it.
I always thought psychiatrists were like part of the healthcare system.
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it feels though social working can still be part of the healthcare system.
It's mostly just like
Yeah, but they're doctors.
Well,
yeah, it's
Like-
again, it's just a lot of it's just how much education you have because social workers have
Yeah.
like some ground level social
there
workers
can
have
be like
bachelors.
a
Think of-
wide range of education levels.
think of lawyers working for the city, working at like the precinct or something like that, being
Oh.
those specific people. Like they're
Yeah.
just they're required because to defend people, right? Everyone is entitled to a lawyer
Yeah,
no matter
that's
what.
right.
That will
Okay.
like anybody could also be entitled to self help or any situation.
I guess that just shows how little I know about the healthcare system and government jobs.
Yeah, you should figure that out, huh?
Listen, all I know is fucking the AOG and like the diesel and how to start up a scrubber and shut down a burner.
You also
brother.
you also know how many chevrons are in first class, right?
More than me,
Yeah.
however many that is.
Yeah, who knows? We'll figure it out one day.
They don't pay me to count. They pay me
No.
to take logs.
No, Ciara, when she watched this for the first time the other day,
Oh, what was her reaction?
her biggest takeaway is that therapist was just basically a piece of shit. And
Yeah.
it's just like, how can you just be so blunt and so like negative towards your patient? Be like, yeah, because you're not supposed to like tell the patient like, hey, yeah, funding's cut, you're basically fucked.
Yeah.
You
They
know.
don't care about people like you and me.
Yeah, wouldn't a therapist also have to, abide by the Hippocratic Oath and do no harm and
Well,
help
no,
and
they're
so-
not. Not all therapists are doctors.
Yeah, but
They
I
still
feel
have the Hippocratic.
yeah, when you work in
really?
healthcare,
Mhm.
when you
I
work in
thought
healthcare,
only doctors take that.
my mom's a
No.
nurse. She took it in
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck's
1999.
shit?
No, it's like all
I didn't know
healthcare.
that.
All healthcare. Whether it's nurses, like,
Whatever.
low level,
Oh,
like school nurses.
Even PAs have to do that. Physician assistants.
oh, PAs aren't they get paid more than nurses though?
Yeah, but regardless of pay, I mean, if you feel as though if you're working,
Well, I would expect PAs to take the Hippocratic, but okay, I didn't know that.
yeah, I feel as though if you're working with the health of anybody,
Yeah.
no matter what, you should be able to do everything in your power to help somebody.
Do they?
It's your
Is
job.
it like?
Professionals?
Is it like MEPS where like they all get a bunch of nurses in a room and they all like raise their right hand? Is that how the fuck does that work?
I
Like,
feel as though it is like when you're going through the schooling, the programs, learning like a nurse. Nursing school is a lot more difficult than people make it seem to be because it's
oh
of
yeah,
nurses.
it's not easy.
Yeah, it's very,
It's-
very like competitive schooling,
Mhm.
and so I feel as though once they maybe I don't know what it is. I'd have to ask my mom, but I feel as though when they're going through the schooling, maybe during or after,
Yeah.
they take the oath because no matter what, it's like one of the oldest like in like like scribed agreements
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
the world, right? The Hippocratic Oath started in ancient Athens, I
I
believe.
didn't know that. I always thought it was only for doctors. Honestly, I didn't know that till now. But yeah, that therapist, the social worker, another comically cruel aspect of this
Mhm.
world.
But that also could be, hear me out. That also could be just his mind.
Oh my god.
It's just like basically how he perceived that event happening.
Oh,
Basically,
Jesus.
him getting abandoned by the system.
Thanks, Alex Jones. Definitely.
The water's turning the freaking frogs gay.
Wait, he said that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alex Jones did say that.
Oh wow.
That
You heard
was
about that guy?
actual quote.
That guy has a radio show.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh, well.
He's been sued by the families of Sandy Hook for.
He's gonna have to start like.
You
at
heard what
least-
happened, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, he doesn't have his radio show anymore.
No, he's.
I thought
Everything's
he's been doing his radio show while that has been happening.
Oh, maybe he has. I'm not sure. All I know is that his Infowars is done, and he's
Oh.
also being sued for more money than he has.
It sounds like
I
he
still
needs to
think it
start
won't-
more radio shows to
I don't
pay
say
that
it.
back money.
I don't think it's going to be hard for him to get. I mean, he already has a massive following of conspiracy theorists and everything else, so
yeah.
True.
it's not going to be hard for him to get back up on his feet, which is really really sad.
Did Ciara have any other takeaways? Did she like the movie?
She liked the movie. She
Okay,
liked the
yeah.
movie a lot. She felt really sad for Arthur throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
She did say that, things just seem to be like really, really bad things just keep seeming to happen to
Yeah,
this guy
yeah.
for whatever reason, just because God said "fuck you" to this one specific dude.
But then it was also his delusions of grandeur that ultimately led his downfall.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what she said.
If it wasn't for those delusional ideas, he probably could have been okay.
Can you guys explain this to me? I don't know why he killed his mom.
He killed his mother because when he went to go see, he went to
Thomas.
Thomas
Wayne?
No. When he went to the hospital,
Oh yeah.
he took the record that was of himself or his mother, and then he realized that his mother was crazy herself
Yeah.
and had been abusing him to the near point of starvation as a child.
Yeah.
So much that he repressed those memories and he didn't remember them.
Yeah.
When he was 5, he was tied to a radiator and starving and cold and wet.
But
And he was abused by his mother's boyfriends at the time, physically abused, right? And then he realized that all those things happened and that she was crazy and that she had been lying to him for so long, saying that Thomas Wayne's going to take them away, and make them better. She realized that she didn't know what she was talking about, and he was
See,
pissed.
I hear that, and what I think my takeaway is her ex-boyfriend was abusing her, and like, you know, shit goes down the chain of command, and like, I don't know, like, if you're basically a single mom with an abusive partner with a child, and you're also mentally fucked up, and you're poor, like, your situation's fucked, and I don't think that warrants a fucking death penalty. I, I, I don't think I saw that happen, and I'm like, doesn't he love his mom? Like, I don't understand.
Well, he
Like,
did, and I think he just felt like he was being lied to for so long.
parents lie to their kids all the time.
But also, I think again, it was just his mental state getting at him, and
Yeah,
Those also aren't white lies. There.
I just didn't like how he killed his mom, and like he didn't even like ask for an explanation. Like he didn't like even yell at her or like say like you lied to me. Like why would you? He was just like go to sleep, bitch.
oh, this is Ciara's biggest takeaway from the movie.
Okay.
And it's this scene when he smothered his mom. She had the oxygen tubes in her nose. See, I didn't notice that. But Ciara's like, she's not dead.
Wait a second.
So she would have been alive the whole time.
Oh my god.
This fucking You done?
Oh my god.
What if she's like takes the pillow off and he goes like bah and scares him? He takes a gun.
Scary Bilbo. That's really funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
His mother is played by the woman from American Horror Story.
Mhm.
I forgot her name.
Oh, I've never.
She's been in a couple of seasons of American Horror Story in the earlier seasons. I don't know. And then we bring up to the rise where he realizes he's independent at this point. He's happy now.
Yeah.
Well, not happy, but he feels like there's nothing dragging him down anymore.
Yeah. Does he kill his work buddy after his mom?
After his mom.
Okay. Yeah.
This is directly right before everything goes down. Right, he was in the comedy hall, and he's remember this is where it builds up to.
Yeah.
Where he's now doing comedy. He tries his bit, and he messed it up. It was almost this cringy on how bad it was.
Super cringe. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be a comedian. And when later on the show
He sells it so good.
right.
He sells it so good. I think an inferior actor would make that just cringy.
Yes,
But when Joaquin Phoenix does it, it's cringy, but
sad.
you feel sympathy for him.
Mhm.
You see the way that he believes in himself, and like it's just sad.
Do you think Jim Carrey would have fucked it up?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, he
He would've messed it up.
I mean,
yeah, that's this one's-
Jared Leto was playing Jim Carrey during his Joker. That should tell you everything right there.
That's true. Jared Leto, his hair was like the mask, and then his face was like the mask but white.
Yeah.
Well, so after that, right,
Uh-huh.
and then Robert De Niro, he is the character. If you watch
Yeah.
the movie, the what's it called? Oh my God, it's an old movie where this is exactly the same thing. If you watch it, it's called The King of Comedy.
Oh,
King of-
is with
It's-
Robert De Niro?
This concept
Yeah.
of the movie I'm pretty 100% sure it came from The King of Comedy.
Okay.
This King of Comedy is Robert De Niro as a man. He wants to be a comedian. He looks up to this. Tonight Show host sort of guy.
Yeah.
Played by I forgot the name of the actor, comedian, but he looks up to this guy. He wants to be like him. But Robert De Niro's character is crazy. He goes in his home. He infiltrates his home and pretends to be somebody because he wants to be a comedian,
Yeah.
right? And he's just obviously not all there. There's more to it than that if we ever talked about it later, but the same concept is there.
Okay,
He
so
wants-
it's interesting that he plays a talk show host in this movie.
Exactly.
Okay, I see.
But
I see.
also the same character is being portrayed as Joker.
Yeah.
It wants to be Robert De Niro.
He wants to be Robert De Niro.
Okay, so there's some parallels there.
Yeah. And so later on, Robert De Niro's character plays that clip of him at the comedy club, and they're just pretty much tearing him apart. They're tearing him apart, and when he saw that, he really thought they were gonna praise him, but they didn't.
Yeah,
And I think that is where it all completely went downhill, and he snapped. At that point, he just gave up hope.
Yeah.
And he turned into, not even when he killed those guys at the
When
subway
did he
station.
watch that? Did he watch that with?
He was in the hospital.
He was in the hospital with his mom.
This is right before he killed his mother.
Okay, yeah,
So I think that right there is what also ended it.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Right? Because it was on the TV screen in the room.
Yep.
Where he watched
yep.
it, and then then he gets called to go on the show, and that's it. Where all hell breaks loose in Gotham. Starting out, because of,
yeah. By the way, during all of this, there has been a movement, like a Occupy Wall Street, like defund the police, kill the rich style movement. That was based off of Joker killing those Wall Street guys, and everyone now is wearing clown masks to signify their revolution,
right,
or whatever. Anyway, so that's happening.
So after all this, he gets called onto the show and he's preparing himself. This is when he does that thing where he's dyeing his hair green. He's finally putting on the Joker stuff. Not all the way there yet. And then he gets knocked on the door, and it turns out to be the guy who gave him the gun and the midget guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, this is what scene where it strikes not terror, but like that's when everything goes downhill.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And well, my question was, is he gonna kill his little friend? That was my question. I knew for a fact he was gonna kill the fat guy. Yeah. I fucking knew that.
You called it, right? Everyone did. I always knew that.
But I was like, oh, what's gonna happen with the little guy?
That fat guy is the mobster in first season of Barry.
Yes, he is. He's the Chechenian,
Chechenian mobster.
Yep.
I don't remember. I don't remember that.
He's the first dude who gets a shot in the head.
Like the last episode
of season 1. Yeah.
Well,
when did Barry come out? I watched it when it came out.
2019 is when it came out.
Yeah. Fuck. I watched it on the boat. I remember. I had it downloaded on my phone.
I'm really glad I caught up with it.
Anyway, the Chechenian.
Yeah.
He stabs the Chechenian.
With the scissors, right?
Yeah.
He grabs the scissors and he stabs him in the throat with it, I'm pretty sure, right?
He gets him in the eyeball.
Oh, the eyeball. That's what it was. Yes. And then the other guy, the midget, because they're coming into, they thought they found out his mother passed away and that he's upset. And he's like, I'm glad she's dead. I'm happy. I'm free.
Yeah.
Right? And then he stabs him.
Weren't they also coming in to like tell him bad news or something? Like, because they came in under the pretext of, oh, I feel bad. We feel bad because we heard your mother died.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's the actual thing we want to talk. What was that actual thing?
They wanted to basically say, hey, detectives are coming by our office and you should like talk to them because
that's
we know you're like
crazy.
Yeah. You definitely would be the guy to kill 3 Wall Street dudes with a gun that I gave you.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works. So after that, right, you're wondering, oh my God, he's going to kill the midget.
Yeah.
But he says, you're fine, man. You never hurt me. I'm not going to kill you.
Yeah.
But then he's terrified. He scares him. Goes, whoa! He scares the shit out of him. And while this guy feels like threatened, his life is like, he's going to kill me. He asks him, can you
get the door? Oh my God.
And he's like, sure. And he picks up and he opens the door right over him.
Yeah.
That's like, you imagine how much fear he was feeling too. He's watched some dude get murdered, like his coworker get killed, and he's like, "Thanks for not killing me. I'm leaving now." And then boom, the Joker is born finally. When that trailer scene where he's coming down the staircase with the song.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that's
pumped up.
That's the 4th dance scene I was talking about. The 4th one I didn't.
That's like the most.
It's the iconic, but I don't like the way it's cut off. Because it's cut off with the 2 cops at the top of the stairs being like, "Hey," and then he just like stops and he just starts running.
I think that's supposed to be cartoony. I think it's meant to be cartoony.
However, it's meant to be. I didn't like it because like that whole sequence was like it's very well done, and like it again, it has that musical score where like it has almost a majestic feel, um, and I just felt that the way that scene ended with the cops chasing him was like too abrupt for me.
Probably the editing was like, we got to cut something, or
I don't know.
maybe when it let after what
Yeah.
led after that wasn't good. Possibly, who knows?
Anyway, yeah. So that scene happens.
Then that's when he goes to the train station and the
Uh-huh.
cops are still following him, which I don't know how they caught up with him that fast.
Oh yeah, and then the cops they get lost in the Joker crowd.
Yep.
The crowd with
Does he-
all the Joker masks.
Because he takes somebody's mask and starts to fight in there
Mhm.
because somebody punches another person.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he hides, and then the cops are, trying to get after him, and the cops
Yeah.
accidentally shoot somebody.
Oh yeah, is that what happened? Ah yeah,
Mhm.
that's what happens. Yep.
Which leads up to, when he finally goes to the show, he wants to be called. He meets up
Joker.
with the Joker. He's like, "Can you
Yeah.
please call me the Joker?"
By
What's
the
wrong with
way,
Arthur?
I want to talk about Robert De Niro in this. He doesn't seem like a bad guy.
No, he seems like he's just a comedian trying to do his job. He's
Yeah.
making jokes. That's all.
Yeah,
He
because
seems like he's like, you know what? We're gonna give you what you want. You
yeah,
want to be the Joker? Be the Joker.
yeah, and not only that, like,
Assistant's the bad guy.
because he when they show up to the Joker's dressing room, it's Robert De Niro and like a producer, right, or an executive or someone
Yeah.
someone who's in charge.
Yeah, it's his
And-
assistant or producer or whatever.
Yeah, Robert De Niro is very respectful towards Joker. He's trying to accommodate him, and the other guy, he's kind of demeaning. Like he's kind of like dismissive of Joker. But Robert De Niro, like he tells him, no, let him do his thing, like you said. And he speaks to Joker like he is another like
Celebrity
showbiz
guest. Yeah.
professional. Like he talks to him like, all right, this is how it's gonna go down. He's literally doing a pre-evolution brief of like the thing. What are you pointing at?
Water. Never mind.
Oh no, I'm good. And fuck, what was I saying?
He
He doesn't seem like a bad guy.
No, he's
Yeah.
just like, we're being
And like
professional here.
you would think that
We're trying to make this entertaining.
I like that a lot because this entire movie, everyone is so comically cruel and evil towards Joker. And you would expect that this talk show host would also be like a scummy showbiz guy who just shits on him and is just using him for laughs. But like we know he's on this show so that they can laugh at him. But I think Robert De Niro's character thinks that Joker also knows that. Like
Yeah.
he thinks that Joker is aware of why he's here.
I think he assumes that he just assumes
Yeah.
that he's a clown, but not a comedian. 'Cause
No,
clowns get laughed at
Yeah.
and make jokes, but comedians laugh and people laugh with them.
no, I don't think that. I don't think that at all because that has an element of cruelty to it.
Does it?
And cuz that's from the what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that what's the talk show host name again in this movie? Robert De Niro's character's name.
Oh.
Fucking
Let me see.
But like when Joker first sees himself on the TV and they're making fun of his act, like that seems cruel.
It was Murray Franklin.
Murray Franklin, yeah, Murray Franklin. He paints an awful picture of Joker doing his stand up, making fun of him, making fun of the way he talks, all that stuff. So like your initial impression is, oh, this guy's gonna be awful. But no, he's very like he talks to Joker like they're on the same level, which I thought was a nice change. I don't think Joker took it that way. I think Joker was like so entrenched in his plan to fucking kill himself because we all thought he mimed killing himself.
Yeah.
He rehearsed killing himself. Like we saw him rehearse putting the gun up to his mouth and like pulling the trigger and all that.
Do you think that he at first intended on it and then changed his mind completely?
I don't know. I'm not sure because like
Maybe he saw that the world saw him in a different light in the time they saw that this clown,
yeah.
it was a face of of justice in their own way, not justice but like a change.
I don't
And
know.
then
Well,
and while
yeah,
he's changing through and he realizes it, but we don't really see it written in there.
maybe.
And then he completely changed his mind and saw that, wait a second,
I
made us. It's people like you that made me like this. It's people like you that make this world not like terrible.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That's another thing that bugs me about this movie, because, like during the interview, like Murray asks him, like, "Are you political?" Right? And he says, "No, I'm not political. Like, I didn't want to start a movement. Yada yada yada." Like he says that. And he says like he's just trying to do his own thing, right? But he is political. Like when he was on the date with Zazie Beetz, and when I say on the date with Zazie Beetz, on the date with himself,
quote unquote.
yeah, and like
That's what they want you to believe.
Zazie Beetz asks him, like, "Do you like they're looking at like the fucking crowd of and like on TV of people wearing masks and shit, and she's like, you must like it that they're doing that," and he like smiles to that. So there is an element to Joker that enjoys the fact that he started this movement. Because why would he ask him? Why would he say that? Like, why would Zazie Beetz say that? When I say Zazie Beetz, I mean him. Because, like, she did not exist on the state.
I also think that he hasn't been seen by other people his whole life as
Yeah.
either important or as equal or what have you. And this is like one of the first times in his life that he has, some sort of importance, or I guess, what do you call it? He's infamous right now.
Recognized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
recognized.
That it bugged me that this movie, I don't understand. It's such a mixed message with like that political shit. And if it is like this political message of like, I don't even know what it would be.
Kill the rich.
Kill the rich, sure, yeah. But like, that's not a good message.
Maybe the whole thing was actually maybe you should really take care of people's mental health and stop making a joke of it, or else it'll make a joke of you.
That, see, even that is so. That
is it corny?
No, it's not corny. It's like
so low ball.
No, I just don't think it's effective. Like as a message, this movie is not effective as a mental health message.
Oh no, not at all. If that was his message, then it did a bad job at it. You're right.
And like, don't I don't know. I feel like the movie tries to garner sympathy for a character who just doesn't deserve sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
But it does make you gain some sympathy in some points.
For Arthur.
I think what I'm trying to say is, on a plot level, it tries to, because like on a character level, yes, as a character study, as understanding the history of Arthur Fleck's Genesis, yes, it does generate sympathy, and that's largely in part to Joaquin Phoenix and his performance. But on the whole, like, this movie's message, like, is not. It's fucking awful. It's awful. And it's trying to dress it up with amazing cinematography. It's trying to dress it up with this amazing score. It's trying to elevate it with like top of the line acting. It's trying to put all of this makeup on such an awful thing. And it's kind of like the Joker himself.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that character in itself, one I think is overused. I
Mm.
think um, he's got a lot going on. Like, it's hard to pinpoint a exact thing. Like I was saying earlier, like every actor brings um a new thing to the character, whether it's like Heath Ledger with like being all anarchy, um, Jared Leto being whatever he is, and um,
Jack Nicholson.
Jack
Jack
Nicholson
Nicholson,
kind of
yeah.
being like the gangster side, and then being like the more criminal organization side of that, and then Joaquin Phoenix basically kind of showing the more mental health side
Yeah.
of the Joker. But I don't know, characters like where it's just like they're reckless for almost the sake of being reckless. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's not
it's
very interesting. It's like they have nothing to lose, and
right.
the character doesn't. It's not very dynamic.
I agree. I think part of it is like I don't feel as if this character is doing things because their character naturally would do that. I get the sense that this character is doing this because the movie script requires him to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense. Again, like a lot of the typical pitfalls of of uh of like that kind of flawed characterization, it's completely smoothed over because Joaquin Phoenix is really just that good.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's straight up amazing. Um if I were to read this script on paper, I would be like, this is garbage. Like this, no way this would work.
And
Like no
only
fucking way would this would like
and only one man, one director can make it come to life.
a scene that particularly comes in mind is when he meets Thomas Wayne and he says, "It's me, Dad," and he laughs. Like that's an awful line.
Well, that's like basically Elf.
Yeah, it's basically Elf, but Joaquin Phoenix delivers it, and it just works. I believe it. I believe that Joker is that delusional, and I believe that that's just what like he is.
Mm-hmm.
He has that much. He is that much on the fucking spectrum of autism, where he just can't read social cues.
Yeah.
To where he would think saying something like "It's me, Dad" to like a random billionaire guy running for office is he thinks that's okay. Um, and that's not the script. That's Joaquin Phoenix because
Mm-hmm.
the script is fucking bonkers. um, I wanted to say something else, but I forgot. Oh, back to here's a question I want to ask you guys. Um, do you think the Joker should have an origin story?
No.
No, yeah. I mean, I liked that there is one.
Yeah.
But did I think they needed one? Probably not. No.
Are you feeling the same way?
Yeah. I mean, like I said before, I think his whole character is. I think it's already kind of boring and overused.
Mhm.
But now you take the most interesting part about him, that he doesn't, he's mysterious. He has like a mysterious backstory. You don't know where he came from, how
Yeah.
he got to be, but now you have it. It's like, well, on to the next guy.
It's kind of like
Now we need the Riddler origin story. Now we
We've-
need,
you've revealed the magic trick and it's no longer magical.
yeah.
I am also in the same boat.
Like you want a Joker as he is. I don't need anything before. I want him the way we know him as.
Sorry, say that again?
You want the Joker the way that you've always known him to be. You don't care for an origin. You just want to see what he's really capable of.
I think I can say that now. I think I can say it now because I have seen this origin story. And I think this is probably the best origin story we're going to get for the Joker. I can't imagine a better origin story than this. It's pretty good as far as origin stories go.
What's weird is the Joker is known to have like a genius level intellect too.
Really?
Yeah. He's
really
he has an
really
IQ
bad
level,
at telling jokes. That's pretty much it. His whole thing was
he has an IQ of 200 in the comics.
Well, he
Higher than Batman.
definitely doesn't have that in this movie.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, this movie is a great origin story. But with all that said, I don't want Joker to have an origin story. I don't want to say that like my initial impression of the Joker is what caused me to say that, because my initial experience with Joker was Jack Nicholson's Joker, and then it was like Batman the Animated Series Joker, and then it was and then it was Dark Knight. I don't think I've ever seen any Joker. Yeah, those are the two Jokers I've seen before Dark Knight. Jack Nicholson's and the animated series.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, exactly.
Well, now you have a feeling. I feel I
So-
can tell now that there never will be another origin story Joker movie ever again.
There doesn't need to be. Because
Doesn't need
to
we
be.
have this one, and this one's pretty good.
Yeah, anything else would be
Yeah.
over gratuitous and like unnecessary.
You say that, but I think I've seen like Bruce Wayne's parents die. I don't know how many times. Like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
it's always the same too. They always shoot his dad first,
And
and
they
then
pull
they
the
like
necklace.
pull the necklace, shoot the mom, and
Yeah.
then Bruce is just like
standing there.
standing there.
Have you seen that?
Well, I guess I'm Batman now.
Wait, what meme? What?
There's a meme with a white cat doing this on the chair. He's just holding his hands
yeah.
out.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I haven't seen it.
In the movie, somebody slides their hand like a stage hand, giving him a mask, sliding on his face.
This is your life now.
But yeah, Heath Ledger's Joker was not my first Joker. He was actually my third Joker. But he is, ever since I saw him, he has become the
epitome of what
yeah,
Joker should be.
the best Joker. And a large part of that, I think, is the fact that he doesn't have a backstory, and that he mocks the idea of a backstory
Mhm.
by
He gives you tidbits of what affected him.
No, he doesn't.
I think he
does.
made all that up.
he made it up.
He made it up on the spot.
You really think it was all made up?
What, the Why So Serious?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He said the Why So Serious story, and then later he says that his father.
Was a drinker.
So, because in one story he says he gave himself those scars,
Mm-hmm.
and in another story he says that his dad gave him those scars, and you don't realize it until you hear that second story, that you finally figure out, oh, he's lying.
He's just messing with everyone at that point.
He's crazy. He's fucking nuts. he doesn't have a backstory.
I'm an asshole now because I didn't think that. I always thought that maybe the other thing with the razors in my mouth and I do this, I always thought that was like a bullshit. But then when he got really, really serious about it,
Oh
he seemed
no.
angry. But really, he was just not angry, but he was joking.
Yeah.
It's the Joker.
He-
That's why they call him the Joker.
I really like that about Heath Ledger's Joker. And I
You owe a
think-
lot of it to the writing too.
a lot of his
Christopher Nolan.
yeah.
The guy was writing that movie 6 years or 7 years before it even
I
came
think
out.
it was Chris and John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both co-wrote it. Honestly, Chris by himself, I think he's a little bit weaker. The movies come out a little bit weaker when it's just him by himself. Yeah. Like Memento, that was him and his brother.
It was pretty good.
Uh,
Well, Memento?
yeah.
Oh,
Memento was him and his brother.
I wasn't a fan of Memento.
Dark Knight, I love Memento. Dark Knight was him and his brother. Prestige was him and his brother. Interstellar was just him, and Interstellar's dialogue was a little clunky at times.
Pretty solid movie.
I think he spent so much time on getting it correct.
Maybe I don't know.
Because apparently, like that's one of the few movies that actually tells like what it's showing is like physically correct.
Oh yeah, like the
'Cause he spent
the
years-
science and of the visuals of like how black holes. Yeah, no, I agree.
Like how-
I'm not really talking about like the technical parts of the writing. I'm talking about like dialogue
Oh,
parts.
yeah.
Like the one thing that sticks out to me in Interstellar is Anne Hathaway talking about love. Like I always thought that was a little cringy, the way that she delivers it. And it's not. I don't think it's so much her than it's as much as maybe the script
Yeah.
might have needed a little bit more more love.
Yeah, I think any script for the most part, I think talking about anything really sappy, because obviously everyone has different interpretations of what love or what like
Yeah.
anything along those lines is or is like. So when you take movies like Interstellar that are not about love, I
Mhm.
think they definitely just miss the ball or they miss the ball on those.
They could have done it better. I mean, I love Interstellar. Interstellar, I watched it in IMAX day of release, and it's the most cinematic experience I've had in my life. And I can't think of anything that could surpass that. And I saw Return of the King when it came out in theaters. So like,
Everything Everywhere. I mean,
oh, you're right. Everything Everywhere.
come on. You're the Russo brothers. Even
No,
though
but still,
I
like
said
Interstellar
I said-
IMAX. Oh my god.
I wish I could have seen it in IMAX. If it ever does come back to theaters in IMAX, I'm gonna watch it.
It's so surreal, and like it was a packed theater too.
You
Was-
know,
Yeah.
sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was saying it's packed theater, and like you can feel everyone experiencing it with you. Like even in the silent, especially in like the silent moments, like you could hear a fucking pin drop.
Once I get my home theater started, we're gonna watch it.
I'm super down.
You know
I'm
what's
super down.
what's dropping at IMAX again?
What?
Rogue One, the Star Wars story.
A lot of people love Rogue One.
I liked it too.
A lot of people love it. A lot of Star Wars fan love it.
Here it comes. He's about to drop.
Yeah,
I am
You always
not.
know.
I'm not part of that Venn diagram.
Are you
Like,
outside the Venn diagram?
I am outside that Venn diagram.
You're not guy who loves it, guy who hates it, and guy who's okay with it. You're like, it's a movie.
I think it's pretty good. I think it was a step
Yeah.
in the right direction, but obviously, I think Disney and Star Wars have. I don't really know what they're doing. To be honest.
I have relatively controversial Star Wars opinions. For example, I thought The Last Jedi was good, and apparently some people are willing to fight me on that statement.
I thought the Last Jedi was good too.
I don't know why people are so weird about it.
We talked about it before.
Yeah.
Yes, there are many aspects of it that are really just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like how Kylo Ren himself is actually supposed to be like 20 years old, like a kid, but he's played by a 35-year-old man.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
Kylo
didn't
Ren.
know that.
Kylo Ren was actually supposed to be like
20,
21 years old,
Okay.
like a still wet behind the ears, angry guy.
Huh.
Think about it. How much later was it that he was brought up to be a Jedi for a long time?
Yeah.
He had been, if you see him in his backstory, how he's played by same guy.
Wait, how do we know that he's only 21?
I'd have to get some another expert on this because what he says, but we were talking about it
Pull up
and
the whole Wikipedia.
Do we even know
the
how
Wikipedia.
old? Do we even know how old Luke Skywalker is?
He's old as fuck. What do you think about it? Like, why is he? How much later in their lives did Leia and Han Solo have this child? Because
I would assume that they had the child relatively quickly after the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That's what I would assume. And if that's the case, Return of the Jedi came out like what, 83?
Yeah, they'd
Right?
have to like shacked it up in some like
Yeah.
indoor Ewok like villa.
And let's say Kylo Ren was born in 84,
can see.
right? Well, no, he was conceived in 83, born in 84. Let's just say that. Let's just say he was born in 85.
84 ABY.
Sure. Yeah.
After the battle of what was it?
Yavin.
Yavin. Yeah.
And like when does Force Awakens comes out? 2015, right? So what's that math? That's 30 years. So Kylo Ren is in universe 30 years by the time Force Awakens happens.
Okay.
So like
Well, there's that span of 30 years, but
Yeah.
why is it immediately after? Why wouldn't it have been 95?
I don't know.
Why not? Why not 10 years after? I mean,
Well,
they just
the
met each
Star
other.
Wars movies don't give us dates, so we can. What else do we go by?
Well, the dates are is just a long time ago.
Well,
Every
here-
single one of them too.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think it's easier to say that because I think it's easier to make my assertion that Kylo Ren is 30 years old because Harrison Ford, aka fucking
Han Solo.
Han Solo and Leia, they look 30 years older.
Oh, they old as fuck.
They look 30 years older,
The CGI, I guess, wasn't
which
there.
would
I don't know.
mean that, which would follow that their child is also that time span, which is 30 years.
I was also told that Rey was supposed to be like
30.
like 20 years old or like 19.
I figured, I think she's, I feel like the movie wants to say that she is in her mid 20s. I feel like that's what the movie wants to say.
Also, didn't that whole trilogy span over like a couple years too?
Oh yeah, it did.
Like the timeline.
Yeah, especially between episode 8 and 9.
Yeah.
I think episode 8 and 9 is like at least a year and a half of time.
Mhm.
I hated episode 9. Oh my god.
I think there's a lot of things to pick apart about the new trilogy.
Mhm.
I think honestly, unpopular opinion, probably popular in some circles. I think majority of Star Wars films are not good. Even like as much as I hate to say it, the prequels
I think you're right.
are pretty trash. Obviously nostalgia bumps them up a couple notches, but like
I think
you can
you're right.
only carry nostalgia so much, or nostalgia can carry a movie so much.
Yeah.
The first trilogy obviously like meant Return of the Jedi is like I think where it falls, but
I agree. Yeah.
They say like not the lore, but the following we're talking about is what keeps it going. Truly, like the storytelling is good, for what it is. But you talk about if you talk to a person who was there when the first movie came out in theaters,
Mhm.
and they would tell you that when this movie came out, people were waiting hours just to see it.
Yeah.
They were waiting in lines for
Yeah.
12 to 15 hours in a day
Have you
just to be able to
guys-
see it.
Have you guys seen the
Apparently, and there's also not a single movie in history after that was like that. Even the prequels themselves, people were wrapping around.
Yeah.
The block.
I
just
was
to watch.
there at the premiere for Force Awakens, and the lobby of the theater was there were at least 400 people there.
I was in boot camp when it released, and as soon as I got out of boot camp, we went. I got me and boot camp buddies. We went to go see it in Chicago.
Yeah.
And
were you guys in your whites?
No, we were in our peanut butters, which is even like more
gayer.
disgusting. Yeah. So. Yeah, the people at RTC were like, "Yeah, you can't go out in civvies." I'm like, oh well, I guess we'll go fuck ourselves. So yeah, we walked around. Oh yeah, we walked around the theater and we went to go see The Force Awakens, and I couldn't remember if I was let down because I was super hyped about this.
Yeah.
Super hyped. I remember like writing a list of things I'm going to do once I get out of boot camp while I was in boot camp, and at the top of my list was watch The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
The latest trilogy, episode 7, 8, and 9.
I think 7 was good. I liked 7, and I think 8 was also good. Had significant problems, but still good. And 9 was just
a travesty.
Yeah.
If you think about it honestly, the trilogy compared to the other two trilogies, this one was terrible. Terrible compared to them.
What's your name? Ray. No, what's your name? Ray. People can have one names here. This is a galaxy full of like billions of creatures and things, and you don't ask Yoda what his last name is.
Yoda, what's last name? It doesn't matter.
The
child.
I think this trilogy was better than the prequel trilogy. Because
this trilogy had, I understand that the Jedi are essentially all but almost extinct.
Yeah.
but like, for fuck's sake, like the amount, the crazy, like, what do you call it? Choreography when it came to Star Wars, like lightsaber battles in episodes 1, 2, and 3 were epic. They're always amazing. Just,
Yeah.
they're awesome. This one, there's nothing. What are they talking about? All they want is people want to see lightsaber battles. They want to see it.
Yeah.
They want to see the development of a knight.
That's something I don't understand.
Why do they go so shitty with it? Why do they like? It's like they paid some dude out of a trash can, and they fed him a sandwich every day to teach him how to sword fight like crackheads.
The prequel trilogy, the actors like spent hours like in what do you call it? Choreographing these fights, like Ewan McGregor and
Hayden
Christensen, they like no shit did these things, like,
and Liam Neeson,
and
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know if
that
strike short with this.
I don't think that makes a good movie.
I think it makes a good Star Wars movie.
I think it makes those fights more interesting, but also I think a lot of it's due to just the poor lead up to those fights.
Amazing choreography doesn't save a movie.
I think amazing choreography saves a movie for
Save the Joker.
What it is.
Save the Joker.
I guess we can. What I'm saying, like, it's people. What stood out the most with this movie were the lightsabers.
Oh, the episode 1, 2, and 3.
Just all the movies. I think what really grabbed people's attention was like, wait a second, what is that? Yeah, it's a Star. It's in the 70s. Like it blew people's minds.
I think it's part of it. I agree.
And the story.
Lightsaber is key to the identity of Star Wars. I agree with that. But the lightsaber is not key to the success of a Star Wars movie.
Concur.
And,
I retract.
And the reason why I say that is an example that you guys always give. Rogue One. There's lightsabers at like the last 3 minutes of the movie.
I mean, pretty epic scene, but yeah.
Pretty epic, yeah.
There was Darth Vader. Darth Vader was in it.
But let's say that scene didn't exist. Is Rogue One still a good movie?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't need lightsabers to be a good Star Wars movie.
Yep.
You got me. You put me in the corner there. Nobody puts baby in the corner. We'll go back and we'll finish this off.
I think we should go around and say our piece about the Joker. This is your movie, and I'll let you. You have the floor.
All right, so this movie, obviously, we talk about cinematography. Great, I love the dark undertones, the very solid colors of it. It's very like acrylic patterns of colors too, which I like a lot. Of dark, very dark hues, but solid.
It's still colorful though.
Very colorful.
Yeah.
I liked the build up of his inevitable downfall. I like the fact that he had hope and he hung on to something and he kept it until it just was over.
Yeah.
I liked obviously his A1 acting, Joaquin Phoenix. I feel as though this movie itself owes its success to his ability to act. And of course, I think Todd Phillips did a great job directing, but I don't think that Joaquin Phoenix needed much help to bring it to life.
Okay.
And so for that, I will 100% give this movie a 9.
9.
A 9 out of 10.
All right. Jonah?
I think it was a very well made movie. Yeah. I don't know if it's just because of everything like going on in the world that it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth about this movie. But also, I watched this movie, like I said, the first time was on a submarine. So my first watch wasn't the greatest. And it was with, full of probably like the same people that you saw posting on Reddit about this movie.
You watched a depressing movie in a depressing place.
Yeah. I do think it was a very good movie, very well made. I think every person acted the shit out of their role. There's no question in that, whether it was, Zazie Beetz or Joaquin Phoenix or even
Robert?
The Clerk.
The Clerk.
Oh, Brian Tyree.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually he's again the guy from Eternals.
Yeah.
the black guy.
Oh, that guy.
It
He
shows
was in
up.
there for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think everyone in the role, other than like the therapist, played like their role to a T.
Okay.
Where you can believe these people exist.
Yeah.
Or could exist.
Yeah. That being said, I'll leave it with an 8. I feel like an 8
Fair.
is good for me.
Fair.
I think it's clear that this movie is it's extremely well shot, and the concept of this movie is a very particular vision of Todd Phillips, and Joaquin Phoenix like executes that vision so well. I do think like at its core, from like this movie's philosophy, like it's I feel like it's flawed. I feel like it's trying to be something that it can never be, which makes me really sad because this movie is just that good. It's just that well made. I love the score, dude. I love the score. I love the way that Todd Phillips chooses to film some scenes, and obviously, I already highlighted Joker's like slow dancing marionette scenes as part of my favorite like visual morsels of this movie.
It was a somber feeling, right?
Yeah, somber, not just somber, but it very artful. It was very artful, uh, which is not something I expected. I expected this movie to attempt artistry, but not really achieve it. I think it achieved artistry. I just think it fails on a plot level, and it fails on a philosophical level, because I don't agree with with the object of its sympathy. Uh, yeah, I it's something that I had an inkling of prior to going into the movie, and one could argue that it colored my perception. I tried going to this movie as blank slate as possible, and yeah, but whether or not I got colored by that, I don't know. I just know that like for a large part of this movie, I was upset at the direction the plot was going. I was upset at the choices Arthur was making, and I was not satisfied with how comically cruel this universe is. And I felt like, again, it's not as if these things were happening naturally. I felt that the script was forcing these things, like, oh, like Joker is being cruelly mistreated at work, not because that's something that would happen, but because we need this movie to work. So we need someone to be mean to the Joker right now so that he becomes the Joker. I that's the feeling I got. And uh on a technical level, this movie is a masterpiece. But on most other levels, um, I it just didn't sit right with me. For me, this is a 7.5, and I think that's all I got.
Gives us an overall 81% or an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I think we all can live with that.
I can.
All right.
Because I think I was being pretty generous with my 9.
Mm-hmm.
But I think actually bring it down to...
I think like all you guys have a solid argument behind your scores. I can see a 9 being a valid score for this movie, just like how I could see like a 7 being a valid score for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another thing about this movie. There are many ways to approach it, and there are many ways to criticize it, and there are also many ways to acknowledge its accolades.
It's hard to pinpoint it on one scale of rating. You can rate it on many other aspects, like you said, your technical aspects.
For me, there's some things of it that I just can't square with. So that's why I gave it the score I did.
Yeah. So I guess next up we have Jonah and his choice in film.
What you got for us?
All right. What I got for you guys. I'm letting you guys pick.
Oh shit.
There's 2 movies I have in mind.
Okay.
I haven't seen one of them.
Don't tell us which.
I'm not gonna tell you which.
Okay.
But I will tell you, one is a comedy, and the other one is I think a crime drama.
Okay.
I'll give you the dates.
I wish I had a drum roll thing.
The comedy was made in 2000,
Okay.
and the crime drama was made in 99. So
Tomcats. Never mind.
Comedy in 2000?
yeah.
Punch Drunk Love?
Now, are you guys trying to guess them?
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were
Oh.
trying to get us to guess
No.
them.
What would you guys like to watch? A 2000 comedy or a crime drama from 99?
Oh, no. Give us the titles.
All right.
I want the
You
titles.
want the titles? All right.
Show me the money. All
All
right.
right. Best in Show
Okay.
is the comedy. And
Oh, you should have kept it. You should have kept it. You shouldn't have told us.
jeez.
All right,
Alright,
whatever.
Here's the crime drama. Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai.
What in the shit is going on right
crime
now?
drama?
It's a crime drama. It's
The other one's
Forrest Whitaker is an African American mafia hitman who models himself after the samurai of old, finds himself targeted for death by the mob. I saw this on HBO Max, and I've
You
never
said-
seen it before.
Ghost Dog Samurai.
Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai. It has
Okay.
Forrest Whitaker, and he's basically a hitman for the mafia, and he models himself after samurai.
Oh.
And the other one is Best in Show.
Best in Show is a comedy about. Hold on. I've seen this one. But it's about dog owners that take their. It's a behind-the-scenes look into highly competitive and cutthroat world of dog shows through the eyes of a group of ruthless dog owners.
I don't know, dude. I haven't seen any of these movies.
I'm kind of leaning towards the Best in Show. Is it a comedy movie or a documentary?
No, the Forrest
It's like-
Whitaker Samurai one kind of piques my interest.
I'll do that. I'll do anything. Try anything once.
I will also try anything.
Best in Show might be my next pick. I just think it's like a docu. It's like a not a docu series.
like
Fig-
a
fig-
mockumentary.
A mockumentary. It's like The
Mockumentary.
Office.
Oh, I
before
love
The
those.
Office.
Okay.
All right, so
I could do. All right, let's do Best in Show.
You sure?
Let's do Best in Show. Yeah.
okay, Ghost Dog will probably be my next one.
Okay.
so.
Best in Show.
Best in Show. Okay.
On HBO.
HBO Max.
It's on HBO Max.
All right.
All
Cool.
right. Okay. All right. So our next movie is Best in Show, made in '99.
2000.
2000, made in 2000. All right, cool. Well, that's it. I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for listening.
Flick